here I go. So this is cable. Cable. Which cable is this? This is the ropeway of Brahmaputra river. It is over. It is in Guwahati over Brahmaputra river. It is longest in India. It just recently it has completed 1 year, I think. So almost 32 passenger can ride on it, and it covers it along 8 to 9 minutes. So this is one of the best thing examples of it. Now you also have it in Mumbai, I think. Mumbai also has a ropeway from main city to Elephanta Caves, right? So and many other places it is there. So this is ropeway we are going to talk about, and ropeway and ropeways, cableways. There are many names for it. Even in Dhanbad we use this to carry coal. Okay, so I'll show you some pictures of that. It can have some concentrated load. It can also have distributed load. Concentrated, the way this is hanging over here, it is concentrated, right? This red one, this cabin is a concentrated load on this ropeway. Okay, and the rope weight of the rope itself may be called as a distributed load. So that is what we are going to study in this module. Okay, so into this, there are many type of ropes which has significant load on its own also. So this is one of them. Okay, so this is one of them. When you have electrical supplies, no, that is 1,32,000 kV, 1.32 kV. Okay, so that is also long distance transmission electrical lines. They are also ropeways, not a way, you don't travel on that, but yes, that has got its own weight, which is quite significant. It cannot be ignored. Okay, and sometimes it is dual in number, going parallel to each other. Okay, and then this is the cabin number 142, yellow colored on the right side of it. That is a standard ropeway that is there in Dhanbad also, to carry sand that they use to fill the cavity which is formed once they dig up the coal from within. Okay, so they fill up sand from that. So from the river bed to the coal station, they transport sand like this. Okay, it was earlier there, now they do it using trucks. So still you can see these lines are still lying there in Dhanbad. Okay, so this is what Ram Jhula and Lakshman Jhula. It is in Rishikesh. So they are that also is a ropeway. This is a rope type of thing with some loading is there, on which people can walk, and it is hanging from the top also. Okay, so that also is a ropeway. A similar type of loading is there, but not exactly the same. But yes, and this is what, this is just last year, I think. This Puerto Rico telescope. Yes, yes. This telescope is no more there. They have completely dismantled it now. It was used in one of the earlier James Bond film called GoldenEye. So yes, yes. So this telescope, this has a centerpiece which is hanging on these cables. Okay, so this is an example. These are few examples. There are many. So some of the assumptions that we make when this cable we study, cable as such will be perfectly flexible. That means even a smaller length you can bend it. That exactly is not possible in case of these type of rolls. If you take a small piece of it, it is very very rigid. Okay, it is like a bar if you have in hand. You have seen that, no? Saria that you see to they used to build buildings and all. So they are flexible if it is long, but in short it is very very stiff. So, but that is not assumed here. We assume it is perfectly flexible and it is inextensible. The length doesn't extend. Okay, so if you hang even a huge mass in between, it should not expand. Okay, so the length will remain whatever it is. Okay, so that this length will be whatever it is. Okay, so these are a few assumptions that we take. And then it is perfectly flexible means resistance offered due to bending is negligible. There is no bending moment that is generated within this cable itself. If you try to bend it, it will simply bend without creating any resistance. Tensile force acting in the cable is always tangent. That means if the cable is something like this, any point, if you take what is the direction of tensile force, it is always tangent to the point where it is, where we are concerned of. Okay, so tensile force acting in the cable is tangent to the cable at points along its length. Along its length, anywhere you take, your tensile force will be tangent to the that particular point, the curve that makes this cable. Okay, so they are inextensible. That means, yes, somebody wants to say. It is assumption also, because you don't see any. Yes, it is uniformly bending most of the time. It is not never a case like this. When you see a discontinuity over here, in this case there exists no tangent, right? If there is this curve itself is discontinuous, the tangent will not exist. Okay, so this assumption preliminarily disqualifies such situation when you cannot have a tangent at all. Okay, so that is why noting it down is very very important before we start, because we simply discard any situation gives that gives you a shape which is something like this. Okay, so that is why it is defined. Okay, so tensile force acting in the cable is tangent, that is there. So length of the cable remains unchanged. This I think is not possible in reality. Upon loading, however stiff that member is, there is a small deformation. That is what is creating the tensile load, stress which is there in that. Okay, but we assume it is negligible so as to analyze it in a better way, or more easily we can analyze. Once loaded, the geometry of cable will remain fixed. Once it is loaded, it is statically loaded. Those things are not dynamic, and we assume the cable remains in its shape as long as it is loaded with the same loading condition. Okay, cable segments under load can be treated as rigid links. This is very important assumption. This is what will go the way we analyze now and now. Okay, so we assume the segments of the cable as stiff members, and we can analyze the way we analyzed different trusses also. Not exactly trusses, in over here they are not simple trusses like triangles. Okay, so cannot take compressive load. This is why very very important. In case of cable, they cannot take any compressive load. That means if it is taking any compressive load, it will simply buckle. Okay, so that is not allowed in this case. So it can only take, it can only pull something, it cannot push anything. Okay, so loading can be concentrated load, as it is shown here. It has fixed points where loads are applied, so they are concentrated load. It can be a distributed load, can be a distributed, like in case of Ramjula, what you saw, your rope was two parallel ropes, had wooden plates in between. Okay, wooden plates on which person can walk. Okay, so that is one. So this is a uniform piece. I assume it is uniform density planks. In that case, it is uniformly distributed load all over the bridge. So that is uniformly distributed load, or load can be a varying one also. It depends how it is, because you see there is a upper rope and there was a lower one also. Let us go back to that slide once again. This one. So you see this upper rope, these are the supports to the lower rope on which plank is fitted. Planks are there over here, foot over bridge. Okay, so this is there. So this tension can vary. Okay, this can vary from this to this end. Okay, so it is a varying load in that case. Okay, so that is why this thing came up. It can be a distributed load in a different manner. Equation may have, it may have equation. It is due to self weight also. If it is uniformly distributed load, it is mostly due to self weight. As Not always, not always. We'll see in those cases how it varies. We'll derive that also. Okay. So in mostly in case of electrical lines, no, it is mostly due to the self weight. Okay. Ideally, loads are coplanar. Coplanar here, I mean uh, all the loads or all the loads which you see, no, which is supporting the bottom one. So this whole of this lie on a plane. If this is x, this is y, and there is no load that goes along that direction. So all the loads that come on this rope segment, if bottom one is the rope, this is the rope or cable. So whatever supports, they all the forces, they lie on a same plane. So this is something which we have idealized, we have assumed for simplicity, and most of the cases they are like this. Okay. And parameters for analysis will assume, will try to find out what is the tension on these segments, which one would be the maximum one, that should be the point of interest. Why? That is the one which is going to fail first. Okay, so if that is safe, rest of the rope is safe. So we try to find out the maximum tension and all. Span means total distance between two loads. How much is that? Sag, how much will be the maximum sagging that can happen? Okay, so if this is the displacement, how much is this sagging? This can happen. So we are interested in this, and the length, total length of the cable when it is loaded, how much is that? Okay, accordingly we can design our bridge or whatever. Okay, so these are some of the parameters we are interested to find out, to study also. Okay, some idealization we have defined. So now moving ahead to, yes please. Yes, if you may be thinking, if it is a straight rope, it should be like this if it is inextensible, right? Yes, but due to its own load, it has deformed like this. So once it is loaded, once it is fully loaded, things becomes static. Okay, so that is what is our assumption. So once it is fully loaded, there may be a loose rope. Rope cannot be 100% tight also. It is a singular solution. Okay, you cannot have a load which is not creating deformation at this. Again, why? Because this tensile is balancing this. So what is there to balance this? There has to be a force that comes like this, is it not? In order to have that, it slightly we assume it is like this, so that these two tension will have a component like this, so that it can balance a load. So this also defines a equilibrium. If you don't sag, it is not a case which can occur, right? So that is the reason. Yes, so that is the reason a rope, if it is straight, it is a singular case and it doesn't exist. Okay, you don't have a solution for that. That doesn't mean, we haven't assumed that this rope has stressed and it has become like this. Okay, we have only assumed this rope is not stressed and it is normally like this. Okay, so that is what is an assumption. Okay. Yes, yes, come again, louder please. Rope greater than what? Oh, that is altogether a different question. Okay, if it is there, we are going to analyze it. Yes, if it is there, we are going to analyze it definitely. Why it is there, that is another question. These bridges are very short, very lighter bridges. They are, construction cost is very less. Okay, and reasonably they have good life also, and they can be constructed in no time. Normally, army, military, they construct this type of bridge in very short time to go from one mountain peak to another one. Okay, so that is the reason why it exists. Okay, that is the reason why it exists. Okay, and sometimes just to look good, okay, to make it a tourist spot at times, they construct it. Okay, at least for the Lam Jhula and Lakshman Jhula, it would have been a havoc task if you plan to create a bridge which is all metal bridge. Okay, so if government has a plan to create it in a shorter time, they can go for this. This is a cheaper option. Still, you can do it. But yes, this cannot carry trucks. Mostly they are manned bridge. Yes, there are such bridges also which are carrying trucks also, but at least not in our case. At least in case of Ram Jhula and Lakshman Jhula, which is meant for tourist place most of the time. Okay. Yes. 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 Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it is there. A few which are there. So let us not divert to the reason why it exists. A few reasons are quite good enough that they exist now. And now that it exists, we want to analyze it. And that is not the only thing that exists which is of that kind. So you have seen other examples too. Electrical transmission cables are there, right? You also had a telescope which is a similar example, and there are many other examples also. So let us analyze that first. Okay, so we'll move ahead with simple example of concentrated load now. Okay, what it says, there is no roller or that type of joint over here. It is always a fixed thing. Okay, a rope is fixed at an end, and it is mostly like a pin joint, like a pin joint. Okay, it allows it to move like this. Okay, it can go like this, but it cannot translate as long as it is planar. So this is allowed, moving like this is allowed. Okay, but moving like translation is not allowed. So it will have two reactions over here and two at this end also. So this, I hope it is quite clear. The end constraints of this rope is quite clear. Okay, now what it is given? It is given that DC should sag, or it is sagging, maximum sagging which is there is 0.7 meter from the horizontal line. Horizontal is not a rope, it is just a reference line. It should have been a dotted line, but anyway, so we have to find how much is dB. This is what is unknown. Okay, reactions at A and uh, D also you can find out, reactions at A and D. Okay, that is there. And maximum tension in the cable. There are tensions which are here, which are here, which are here. So I want to find out which one will be the maximum amount. If I see if that segment is safe, rest of the cable is safe. Is it not? So now let us begin. I assume it is perfectly in static condition now that it is loaded, as we have assumed earlier also. So we can apply moment over here at any point like A. I have taken it at A. You can take it safely about D also. Will be equally good. Okay. So whole of this structure, now it is a fixed structure with loading condition like this, because now it is not changing its shape. It is static. Okay, it is loaded over here, it is loaded over here, distances are given. So I can quickly find out the moments involving. This is not going to create any moment as dx passes through point A. So it is having a zero moment, and then what will create moment, and that is unknown also, is dy. So that can be found out. So that is what I have applied. So it is 5, 1, 2 to 4 plus 1, 5 into dy. That is the first term. Next, that was along this direction. Now rest all are along this direction. So it is 4, 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2, that is 4 into 2.25 kilonewton, done, and 3 into 2. So that is again in clockwise manner. So sum of them should be equal to 0. Finally, this gives me dy is equal to 3 kilonewton. So this is quite okay. Now you know what I am going to do next. I am going to compare, I am going to see the vertical forces Dy and Ay. If you sum them both, should be equal to total downward force which are there. Okay, and that is 3 plus 2.25. So Ay is now this, because you already know Dy from here. You substitute it to this and you get Ay as 2.25 kilonewton. So now Ay and Dy is well established, and you also can think, because this is not moving along horizontal, okay, so that is the reason whole of this frame, I may call it a frame because it is static now. So dx should be equal to ax. So whatever external load that acts on this frame now is creating a equilibrium, so that whole of this is not moving along horizontal. So dx should be equal to ax. There is no other horizontal force. So this is at least this much we can say. We cannot talk about the exact value now. Yes. So now considering D, point D, point D is this one. Okay. So what is peculiar about it? See, you already know 0.75. Let me wipe a bit now. Yes, so now D is quite clearly visible. So it is 3 by 4. Why it is 3 by 4 and 1? So it can be written as slope as 3 by 4. So this should be 5. I know this triangle now. Okay, this triangle is well known. So this force triangle is formed. Using that you can find out many things. So what you can immediately extract, sine theta is 3 by 5, dy is greater than ay. Now you see dy is greater than ay, because dx is equal to ax, dy is greater than ay. That means this tensile load in this CD member should be greater than AB member, is it not? Because dx is equal to ax, but dy is greater than ay. So at least I know this will have more tensile load than this member. So at least this much is well established. Okay, so dy is greater than this. So TCD is the maximum. Why this is not the maximum? This member, we'll find it out, but should be quite intuitive over here itself. Because load is coming, a part of this goes to this, okay, and part of this and this will come to this, and that is creating a balance. So effectively what you will see, first and second part, there is two subdivisions of dy that comes finally to this. Okay, so it should be lesser than what it comes over here. Okay, so as it goes below, you will see it has less tensile force. Okay, so that is natural, but yes, we'll calculate them also now. Okay, so for now you assume TCD is T maximum. We'll try to find it out also. Okay, so force along y is should be equal to 0 at point D. We'll do method of joints now. Method of joints as we did at earlier. Okay, so TCD sine theta, TCD sine theta should equate to dy. Okay, TCD sine theta should equate to dy. So TCD comes out to be 5 kilonewton. This is okay. Going to next, Fx is equal to 0 at this point. So TCD cos theta, TCD cos theta, this member should equate to this also. Now that TCD is well known, sin theta and cos theta is known. So you can quickly calculate dx to be 4 kilonewton. So that also is quite okay. Also we have seen dx is equal to ax. So that gives me what? Dx is equal to ax is equal to 4 kilonewton. That is what is 4 kilonewton. I hope so far it is quite comfortable with you all. Very good. TCD Tmax कैसे होगा? Actually see, this okay, this is resultant of this and this is resultant of this and this, but you know this is equal to this because it is horizontally, it is not moving, it is in balance condition. So if these two are same and one of them is greater than this, so that means this is greater than this. Hope you understood. Yes, that also you can take, that also you can take. Anyway, you will find out, see, because dy is greater than ay, this will be greater than this. That is quite obvious, because this should be a resultant of dx and dy. Dx and dy should give me a resultant of this force because it is a balanced triangle. Okay, so if it is dx, it is dy, and this is a resultant of this and this. Okay, so if this increases, this increases. If I assume this is constant, this is clear. So that is what is making finally t to be more. So this is more than this, and because this is lesser in slope, ultimately this also will be further less than what t is. Okay, so anyway, so that is how. And now we'll consider point A. Let me translate everything here. Okay, so this was 2 meters. This is dB, which is unknown. We don't know still this. AY is known, AX is known. AX is equal to DX. We already have established from here. Okay, and AY is here. AX and AY is known, 4 kilonewton and 2.25 kilonewton. So this is known, this is known, this distance is known, dB has to be found out. Okay, so what exactly now you can say is whatever is the slope due to this and this, that is what is giving you the slope of this TAB, correct? Because your tensile force is directed along the direction of cable, and cable is defined geometrically using dB and 2 meters, is it not? So 2 meter and dB, 2 meter and dB actually defines the direction of this TAB. Okay, so the slope of the force or this triangle, this line, slope of this geometrical line is same. Okay, so now let us say this angle is alpha. Okay, then TAB cos alpha, TAB cosine alpha should balance. So that is TAB cos alpha should balance AX. Clear? Is it clear? Very good. Okay. Now TAB sine alpha, if you take the other component, TAB sine of alpha should balance this AY, that is another one. So this and this is known. Okay, if you divide both of them, what you will get? You will get tan alpha is equal to 2.25 by 4. So that is also equal to, because both geometrical triangle, if you take tan alpha, in this case alpha should be equal to dB by 2, perpendicular by base. So that is also this. So alpha can be extracted in two ways. One is using force triangle, another one using geometrical triangle. So it is dB comes out to be 1.25 meter. So dB is now known. Alpha is also known. Okay. So quickly we can calculate the magnitude of TAB. That is the force, magnitude of this force. You see TAB is equal to this square plus this square, just squaring and adding these two should give you TAB. If you take root of that, so you can get this. So TAB is known, and you see how much was TCD. It was 5 kilonewton, you see. it was 5 kilonewton. Now it is coming out to be 4.58. So now physically you have verified, so that is greater than this also. Okay. So this is the assumption that we took is correct. Okay. So these are the values which were asked. So dB is now known, that is the sagging at the point B. AXAY reaction at A is found out, TCD is known also. TCD, that is the maximum force, maximum tensile load that is coming to segment CD is also known. So with this one example, concentrated load only you have to cover now. We need not to go further into distributed load. So you just go through, try doing this part, which is just an alternatively placed similar example with the same cable load as in this example. Okay, given maximum tension in the cable is 3.6 kilonewton. Maximum tension is given. Okay, the one which was 5 kilonewton earlier, okay, one which was 5 kilonewton that came earlier in this segment. Okay, so this is given. Okay, so you have to find out dB and DC, dB and DC both. Okay, so just take a snap of this screen and try to figure it out what it should be. Okay, for the time being I will move ahead, we will come back to this. Okay, so a similar thing that is there, we use a method of equilibriums again to find out the tension in the rope if it is a uniformly distributed load of W along the rope. So this is the case of a thick rope if it is hanging like an electrical cable, those cables are very thick in diameter. Okay, so those cable, it has a uniform diameter, so it has uniform load throughout per unit length. So let us say it is W. Okay, I am trying to establish a general relationship between tension and this W, if it can be. Okay, so R is the vertical load that is coming, center of all the load that comes downward, and that is the mean distance of that center of load. Okay, this is acting at some point maybe. Okay, so that is given by this. We are not initially interested on this. So let us say at a distance x, you are taking a small element of some length dx. So that is our old way of doing it. You take at a distance x, a small cable segment of length dx. Okay, is dx because we assume slope is almost negligible. Okay, so this is almost the same. So now how much will be the vertical load due to this will be W into dx. W is load per unit length. Okay, so it is Newton per unit meter, so it is into meter, so it should give you meter Newton. Okay, so this is the downward force that acts on this, and there are two ends of this small segment. One end will have definitely little higher tensile load, is it not? Because it is at the higher, so this point should have the maximum force and this should have the minimum one. Okay, so we'll see. So this is, if this is T, this is T plus delta T. Okay, so these two are the forces that act on this segment which balance it against W dx, this force, and that is inclined at an angle theta. Okay, so this is a force triangle. Using that we try to do it. So using the force triangle, or you can consider it this way, T plus dt, cosine of this angle. Again, angle is not constant, I am assuming. Okay, if this is theta, this is theta plus d theta, because the slope is gradually increasing. Okay, so I have assumed it is almost near to natural. So this is theta plus d theta. So T plus dt, sine of that, sine of this part. Okay, so is it this? and that should be equal to t sine theta, this side, okay, t of sine theta plus this load. Yes, it is w I am taking, not omega, omega dx or w dx, okay, it is that. So total vertical is balanced, this is vertical force, okay, and horizontal one also. Horizontal, this load will not come into picture, only this and this should balance. So it is t cos theta equal to t plus delta t cosine of theta plus d theta. Okay, done. Okay, now these two are equations. Using that, we will try to figure out what it comes. Trigonometric expansions. Using trigonometric expansion of sine theta plus d theta, sine A, sine B. How much was that? Sine A cos B plus cos A into sine B. In short, I have written it like this. So, is it correct? Yes, sir. Okay. Now, d theta is very, very small. So, if that is small, so this is okay. Cos B should give me, this is B. Okay. So, this gives me 1. What does this give me? 0. Okay, this will give me 0. So only term that remains is this term. So what is that? T plus dt, t plus dt into sine theta. Okay, sine theta. So that is what is going to remain. Okay, and right side t sine theta will go away. Okay, right side. So only thing that will remain is this. Okay, similarly, using this expansion, cosine theta plus d theta will be cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. It will be minus sign. So, expanding that, again considering cos B will be equal to 1, sin B will be equal to 0. So, this part will remain. So, that is what gives me this. Okay. So, these are the two equations, right? And this immediately can be expanded to, if you look carefully this one, this can be written as derivative expansion of t plus sine theta. Is it true? dt first into derivative of second plus second into derivative of first. So that is the derivative of this. So this exactly is this. Similarly, the bottom one is a derivative again of that, this leads to this. This is okay? Okay, now if you integrate both sides of it, if you integrate both sides, what you get? T sin theta is equal to integration of w dx, t cos theta integration 0 means it is a constant. This is what? What is this t0? There is some physical significance of t0. What it is? That is the minimum load on top of which delta t and all the tensile addition and deletion is happening. Okay, so this is hopefully the load which is throughout the span of this can be assumed. Okay, so this is what is that. Okay, so anyway, we'll get to know it more closely later on. So this is what you got. So now I can use this to find out what, if you divide both of them, you will get tan theta is equal to slope of this at any instant, whatever is the instant, whatever is the position you are concerned, at that location it will give me the slope. Okay, this is the, if you know the load, you know load per unit distribution, if you do this, you will get what? Slope at that particular location, and that is t0 at that location. Okay, and double derivative will quickly give me this. If you take twice derivative, it should give you w by t0. So if any one of them is unknown, if you know the slope, take derivative of that, you can get one of these. Okay, so these are some useful results related to this, and this is how it can be analyzed. We won't do much numerical on this, but we have now known how to analyze such system. Okay, again using this now you can simply square and add, you can get something like this. So that comes from W dx if W is uniform throughout. If W is uniform throughout, so it quickly can be extracted out of this. Okay, it quickly can be extracted out of this. Okay, so that gives me W into X, W into X. Okay, if Wx is uniform, so that gives me W into X. So this time it is T, and that comes out to be this. Again dividing those, it should get this. Now taking moment about D or any point which is of interest, you can get something like this. How this is happening again? Moment about D or any point should be equal to 0. So let us say if it is this segment which was of interest, okay, so Wx is the load that is acting downward, and where does it act? It acts centrally to that. So this is the moment, that is clockwise moment. Counterclockwise moment will be T into Y. T is the load that comes, okay, that is the uniform on top of which it is acting. So if this is T0, this is T0 plus delta T. Okay, so some value will be there. So that is the minimum one, T0. So T0 into Y, this is your Y. Okay, so clockwise and counterclockwise, so that gives you Y, that is the displacement. That is the displacement from the lowermost position, that is the maximum or the minimum tension which you see. Okay, so that is what is here, and this is the point of interest, that is D. That is, so it clearly defines, it clearly says such curve will be a parabolic curve. Okay, that type of curve will be a parabolic curve, and you know this from the calculus. If you want to know the length of this cable overall, you can do this. Okay, this is not a physics formula, it is standard mathematics. Any equation slope of which is given by dy by dx. So this gives you the length of that ranging from 0 to xb. Xb is point of support. So these are some necessary equation that can help you in analyzing such system. Okay, so with that I don't think I have to say much on cables. So you should focus mostly on concentrated load, this type of loading system, and that should be enough for you. Okay, but yes, this also is doable using standard calculus technique. So that's all. Okay, so catenary cable is another thing, another similar thing. What it assumes that load is uniformly distributed along the cable itself, and it is maybe due to its own weight. So this is another type of thing. When it is not externally loaded, it is due to its own weight, and such cable takes the shape which is popularly known as catenary. Okay, and general equations of such cables can also be derived in the way we did it. Limiting loads can also be derived the way we did earlier. Okay, so this is a standard shape of such cable, which is shown by this, not on this. This is a uniformly loaded one. Okay, UDL one. Yes, see what is the difference. See what type of loading is this? This is uniformly loaded. This is loaded by W, and same load goes to each and every point of that rope. Rope itself doesn't have any weight. Done. I have assumed this rope doesn't have its own weight. Done. But this load is significant as compared to the mass or the load that comes due to this cable. Okay, so this was UDL, this was uniformly distributed load, and this turned out to be parabolic. But over here what you see, this is due to the load in the cable itself. Okay, this time W is not horizontal, okay, and that acts on this. Rather this time W is along the length of the cable. So W is along this. Got it? So that is the difference. This time the shape is catenary. This time the shape is catenary. Earlier it was parabolic. Okay, got it? Okay, with that I would end everything. Okay, this module as a whole. Okay.